Okay, Abuzia, Auditor General, Hante, NPP former criminal appointees, I just say Operation Recover All Loot. Ede omonioma eba bontin omoboni a omodi eba bontin na Auditor General eba be release forensic audit bi ede ama President Mahama na sa scandal we see no na say President Mahama ede honsem eba betudwa and sisi anon Auditor General 13th All African Games a course so sika bia say NPP for no de omonsa bomu ewo ho $36 million. And no say $36 million no NPP for chira say sika no mo de to awachi nko na mo de to according to Solomon Owusu no asema oka a o chere say NPP for no say asemi wanti ase da enti no say Auditor General ehwe na o release sa forensic audit no na the President Mahama and Lagos Sports Stadium no NPP for so chira $145 million. Abuzia say sika ni na NPP for according to Solomon Owusu omo amene omo awie sika ni na allegedly mo me yanko na yenkonkoti ensema Solomon Owusu ede tudwa ede efa sa scandal we ayi see an Auditor General ba be ye ho adwuma. Abuzia on subscribe like na share ma afofro so ensa into me enkabi Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so na be any update be able drop no also onsa ebi to me aka medamase
COVID tax and so on and so forth. The last time I checked, DSTV said they were reducing their prices because COVID levy had been removed. That is what...
No, even MTN.
MTN, you understand? Because it was a component, you know, they charge VAT. And this is where businesses thrive. We will continue to encourage this administration to get rid of nuisance taxes. Where I have a difficulty has to do with the fight against corruption. A lot of people are walking about.
You are claiming ORA is not working.
ORA, to a large extent, is not working.
ORA is dead. We've said that long ago.
Because if it was working, there will be a lot of MPP who will not have math.
Oh, absolutely.
The people are taking our money, they are still talking. But I don't blame Zato because he will never got the opportunity of occupy any position. So for him, maybe somebody will be contesting him during the next primaries. And that person might be involved in corruption. So if you run all of them up, that person may not contest him. You understand? So
Solomon, that's conspiracy theory.
That is what is going to happen. I know you so the point is that the Operation Recover All Loot remains an integral part of our governance. It cannot be that, Roland, we will pay our taxes and people will just come and steal the taxes and flaunt it in our faces. And we will not do anything about it. But I like what the president said yesterday, that his legacy will be something that all of us will be proud of. For us to be proud of his legacy will mean to uproot corruption from the system. That will be very important. Remember, somewhere in November, the president said formed a committee headed by the Auditor General. You remember that committee? To look into the activities of the 13th All Africa Games. I am so much interested in that. If the president does not do anything and they give me that forensic audit keke, I will stop coming to TV.
PDS?
That forensic, that had to do with the Wache, the $15 million Wache, the University of Ghana Stadium of about 36 million, where they printed tax, $3.6 million, only tax, your tax. When they said the Olympic Stadium costed us $145 million, I want to see it. That is where the Ghanaian will weep. We will weep for this country. And I can tell you that without forensic audit, Zato will not come
here. What about the
fight
against Galamsey? Just use a minute.
As for the fight against Galamsey, I've been here, I've told you that I will not rate the government on it until I see the water bodies clean.
Okay.
Because the point is that we are all fighting for the turbidity levels of the water bodies to reduce to that minimal levels that water will be wholesome for all of us.
Okay.
So until such a time, I'm not ready to do that.
And that has been the foundation for economic and expenditure rationalization as well by the finance ministry.
Anytime Zato speaks, the United Party makes votes. Because what he has done this morning is rather to give us more votes as a responsible opposition party. I've told you that there are irresponsible opposition parties and responsible ones. The United Party remains a responsible opposition party. Let me start from where he ended, that there seems to be that law for constitutional review with the NDC. I'm not too sure Zato was in this country when President Akuffo actually formed a committee led by Kasati to also review the review the constitution. So sometimes
Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh committee also took that one on board.
Absolutely. So if you are saying the president that you so much cherish, so much desire, together with the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that you love so much, that you wish he leads this country one day, they formed a committee to also review the constitution. In fact, today, every Bawumia loyalist that I know is saying that Bawumia possesses the qualities of John Mahama. And I'm surprised. And here I quote Cabo. Only yesterday, Cabo, who is supposed to be
Anthony Abe, leading policy advisor,
a good friend of mine, is saying that Bawumia possesses leadership traits similar to Mahama.
He said that?
When Bawumia himself had referred to President Mahama as an incompetent person, so is he saying today that they are all incompetent? That is a matter that will be addressed properly when we go into election 2028 as to whether or not they both have similar qualities. Well, Zato has already put the figure at 60. He has scored this administration a high mark. So who am I to say he's wrong? I would only analyze the past year based on what President John Mahama said at the inauguration on the 7th of January 2025. On that day, he gave 4 pointers, 4 areas that he was going to look up to, and that we would measure him at the end of the first year. He said that he was going to stabilize the macroeconomic environment. He said that he was going to create an enabling environment for businesses and investment to thrive. He said that he was going to undertake constitutional reforms and also ultimately deal with the issues of accountability and then fight corruption. So these are the 4 areas that I will be analyzing President Mahama this morning. On the economic front, who am I to say that for him to have reduced inflation from 23% to 6.3%, he hasn't done well. He has done perfectly well. And these are facts that nobody can, as it were, argue. Why would I say that by stabilizing the currency, he hasn't done well? He, together with the economic management team from the Bank of Ghana to the Minister of Finance, they have done extremely well. They are rather behaving within the confines of the Constitution. Because if you read Article 183, what is supposed to be the responsibility of the Bank of Ghana is to ensure the stability of the currency. You understand?
And then you'll find that the finance minister came in consistently, rationalized the expenditure.
Absolutely.
And then you'll find that on the monetary side.
Yes.
The monetary policy, the Bank of Ghana with the backing of the Gold Board initiative. How do you think that is integral to creating the stability for a takeoff that everybody is saying we need that consistency from this year onwards?
I mean, for every businessman, one of the key pillars is to have a stable currency, reduce taxes, and infrastructure in place. If I'm a businessman, I can predict that in the next 3 months, the dollar will be at this rate. I will not be in a hurry to be increasing prices. And that's how we take off. And there is a correlation between inflation, the exchange rate, and also your policy rate. What has been affecting businesses is like what Eddie was saying, high interest rate. Ghana has a high interest rate in the sub-region. If you go to Togo, it's 5%. You go to Burkina, 5%. Ivory Coast, 5%. Why must we be doing above them? So it is incumbent upon us to consistently reduce interest rate to the single digit so that our businesses can compete. And we can only do that when we stabilize the macroeconomic environment for that long. So on that first goal of stabilizing the macroeconomic environment, the president has done so well. Remember, as we speak, if you went or go to Iran, they are on the verge of removing the government. And you know why they want to remove the government? They say inflation is at 40%. Remember, the very person, the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that Akuffo, that Zato wants us to praise them this morning. Spend our time to praise them. They don't deserve a single praise for any Ghanaian. Not even a quarter praise.
He says that the good purchase program, for example.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Now they took us to inflation of 54%. If Ghanaians were Iranians, by now they would have banned them.
Oh, so
40% they are removing government. How about 54%? They would have banned them. Yet the Ghanaians decided to have all this pain. And that is why Ghanaians use pain. It was pain and hatred that they used to vote against the New Patriotic Party. He's not understanding why the Ghanaians voted against them.
Really?
You are talking about initiatives of Bawumia.
Because if you say this, Akroma, for example, just yesterday, says that he says that the CD had been stabilizing and reducing or appreciating against the US dollar even prior to.
Why was it when did the CD start reducing in any country? Was it in this country? As for Akroma, the very day he said that in politics, if no one is being used, means you that is being used, I wrote him off. When he said that, look,
it was in a book. He was
no. He was only telling us he believed in the book. He told us that in politics nobody has you at heart. Nobody has your interest. Listen to someone, a young politician growing.
It was in a book. It was in a book line.
No. You see, people don't sometimes analyze speeches. He mounts a podium, a young man growing in politics, and tell the entire world that in politics, no politician has you at heart, and that no politician believes in whatever they say. And here is the same person campaigning for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to come and lead this country. So why would you take anything that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says serious? Because they don't have you at heart.
So
ever since he said that, I have written him off. The only policy that has been ever introduced in this country by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia that he himself endorsed was the NAPCO, the Nation Builders Corp. That he expended more than 2 billion, and we don't know the whereabouts. And I keep saying that I don't know what Addo and your government is doing about it. I have written to the right information. I want to see the entire list of the 100,000 people that they claim they were paying every month.
The beneficiaries.
The beneficiary, which is a lie. It's a fabrication. It's a figment of their own imagination. The same thing they did.
You mean they're not up to 100,000?
I bet my last person, I read my lips, my last blood, that they were not more than 7,000 people.
Read your lips?
Read my lips. The rest was trouble. They were just sharing the money. We are talking about policy that has been introduced by who?
Ghost names.
Ghost names. They put there. So when we are talking about policy, don't even go there that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has brought any policy. Buying gold for the Bank of Ghana started as far back as the 60s. In the 60s, they were buying 5 tons.
Will you add 1D, 1F to what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that the 1D and 1F, if you go there, even back here, it makes the matter worse for Mahmoud Bawumia.
Oh, really?
Whereas,
not for the minister, not for Alan. Oh, I shouldn't talk.
The 1D, 1F, I keep telling you, this is about the 10th time I'm explaining to you, that the 1D, 1F, the money that was supposed to be given to the 1D, 1F, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia took it and said that he was sharing it for graduates that had paid expensive hostels. He was paying them every month 700 cedis. Does it make sense to you? Does it sit well with you that someone will finish university and the government policy will be that I am engaging you every month, I'll pay you 700 cedis. 700 cedis can't even pay trotro for a week. But that was what your government was doing.
And the other assessment you want to
And the other assessment has to do with the business. I was talking about the business and environment. Said that there's a correlation between inflation and exchange rate. And by that, it has to bring the interest rate down. It has come down from the United Party's point of view. It has to go to the single digit so that it will help businesses to thrive. Remember, they've been able to remove taxes, the e-levy, the COVID tax, and so on and so forth. The last time I checked, DSTV said they were reducing their prices because COVID levy had been removed. That is what...
No, even MTN,
you understand? Because it was a component. You know, they charge VAT. And this is where businesses thrive. We will continue to encourage this administration to get rid of nuisance taxes. Where I have a difficulty has to do with the fight against corruption. A lot of people are walking about.
You are claiming ORA is not working.
ORA, to a large extent, is not working.
ORA is dead. We've said that long ago.
Because if it was working, there will be a lot of NPP who will not have math.
Oh, absolutely.
The people are taking our money, they are still talking. But I don't blame Zato because he will never got the opportunity of occupy any position. So for him, maybe somebody will be contesting him during the next primaries. And that person might be involved in corruption. So if you run all of them up, that person may not contest him. You understand? So
Solomon, that's conspiracy theory.
That is what is going to happen. I know you were. So the point is that the Operation Recover All Loot remains an integral part of our governance. It cannot be that, Roland, we will pay our taxes and people will just come and steal the taxes and flaunt it in our faces. And we will not do anything about it. But I like what the president said yesterday, that his legacy will be something that all of us will be proud of. For us to be proud of his legacy will mean to uproot corruption from the system. That will be very important. Remember, somewhere in November, the president said formed a committee headed by the AuditorGeneral You remember that committee to look into the activities of the 13th All Africa Games. I am so much interested in that. If the president does not do anything and they give me that forensic audit keke, I will stop coming to TV.
PDS?
That forensic, that had to do with the Wache, the $15 million Wache, the University of Ghana stadium of about 36 million, where they printed tax, $3.6 million, only tax, your tax. Where they said the Olympic Stadium costed us $145 million. I want to see it. That is where the Ghanaian will weep. We will weep for this country. And I can tell you that without forensic audit, Zato will not come
here. What about the fight
against
against Galamsey? Just use a minute.
As for the fight against Galamsey, I've been here, I've told you that I will not rate the government on it until I see the water bodies clean.
Okay.
Because the point is that we are all fighting for the turbidity levels of the water bodies to reduce to that minimal levels that water will be wholesome for all of us.
Okay.
So until such a time, I'm not ready to do that.
Addo, it looks like the clarion call is that there should be consistency because we tend to see the growth first year, second year, especially when there are transitions, and then all of a sudden, election year, we're off. Consistency. There's big push, there are all those things being done, but we need that consistency in rationalization.
You see, we had a group of people who passed the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
Under 5%, yes.
And eventually they threw it off.
Oh.
They didn't even want to even see the legislation. But let me do a quick rebuttal. It's on record that when President Mahama took over on the 7th of January 2025, our friends in the NPP said, oh, he had brought doom, so you remember?
I remember.
A president who had just taken over 2 days.
No, it wasn't the president, it was the energy minister who said it. It was the energy minister who said we have 3 hours or 3 days of fuel.
Calm down.
Did you also did?
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just saying you
I'm down with you. But it was the energy minister who scared Ghanaians.
The energy minister didn't say that. It was because there was doomsaw. There was outages. But today, through the leadership of my sector minister, Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor, anchoring all the energy sector agencies together for 9 months continuous, no doomsaw, no load shedding. Clap for him, please do.
Now
the C0řřupt and Gonjes are friends.
Did you clap for
him? Oh, please,
did you
clap
for Bawumia? Clap for them first, then also clap for him.
I said the Gonjes. Wait, hold on. Gonjes and C0řřupt are playmates. Clap for John.
Gonja clap for C0řřupt, no the other way. If I do that, the goals will be
very well, very well. You at least you concede that there's the need to clap. I've heard something interesting from our friends in the NPP on Galamsey.
He's saying that the president...
There was a man in this country who told us that he was putting his presidency on the line because of Galamsey. To put your presidency on the line is like putting your own life on the line. By the time the man left office, his own minister who was in charge of Galamsey and others wrote a piece to him and named where his office was, the Jubilee House, as the seat of Galamsey. That is his record, and a very dubious one as such. Calm down.
No, I'm down.
You see, the other thing too is that my friend Zato says that the establishment of Gold Board has legitimized Galamsey. Ridiculous proposition.
Why is it ridiculous?
Completely ridiculous.
Why?
When you claim Bawumia introduced gold for reserve, where was he getting the gold from?
Where was he getting it from?
Please, where was he getting the gold from?
From those mining gold.
Did he legitimize Galamsey?
No, he did not. Because he did not monopolize the gold.
I think, hold on.
Wait. There's one monopoly by there's one monopoly aggregation.
It was a trap. It was a trap. I said a good
gentlemen.
I said a good trap for him.
I don't have much time, and I want to give you time to talk as well and give him time. You see. Can you do that in 2 minutes?
Yes. In one breath. You want to applaud Dr. Bawumia for gold for reserve, which was an initiative to buy gold.
Will you clap for him?
Now, in the same vein, you are saying that the person who had established Gold Board should be blamed for legitimizing Galamsey.
Okay, abusia we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway so Solomon Owusu na yete ne nka se ode saa ensem no etudwa sisi ano o hye eye sisi a eba communication a Solomon Owusu o based on facts onimni nsem bia oka and Ghana for efe no eye the communication Maradona e pass yengi fact into a credits goes to TV3 omo NHS e boaye a yedesa news we e de brem mon subscribe like na share ma Akuffo so ensa into me and kabi aha Ghana politics avenue so medamase